Well, hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being here tonight at our Connect group. My name is Dominic Insenius. I'm the leader here at The Heart, and I'm so grateful for you to be here tonight. If you didn't already know it, you are sitting right in the middle of the mission and the vision that we have here at The Heart, and that is to connect people to the heart of God. And we believe that happens best in groups. In these groups, we're able to be there for each other, to connect with each other throughout the week, and to be really in the mess of life. It's something that we say here at The Heart, that Sundays are great for everyone to get together and we sing some songs and we hear a message, but it's during the week that we really need each other. It's during the week where the real mess of life happens, and it's where we can be there for each other on this journey of faith. So I'm so grateful for you guys to be here tonight. If you've never been to group before, the way we do it is we have a few questions that are based on the message that we had Sunday morning. Now, if you weren't able to be at church or you haven't listened to the podcast yet, it's no worries. The questions are worded in such a way where you can still be a part of the conversation. You don't have to have been there. It can help if you want to listen to the podcast later. It can help to kind of get some reference, but you're fine just where you are. No problem at all. And I want to encourage you to be bold and brave in this and to be able to speak up, share your thoughts, because when you share your thoughts on where you are in your journey, you help all of us in our journey of faith. Now, we just finished our most recent message series called Reluctant Obedience, and we took some time looking at a man named Naaman. And what Naaman was asked to do was take a small step of trust, a small step of obedience in order to do something for his life. And I want to encourage you to get the scriptures out. We're going to be in the book of 2 Kings chapter 5, verses 1 through, I believe, 19. And I'll have the scriptures up on the screen in a second. And you can also look at Matthew chapter 22, verses 36 through 40. Those are the couple of scriptures that we looked at on Sunday. Now, for this first question, what I want to do is kind of start talking about trust a little bit. That's what we've been digging into these past 4 weeks, is obedience really being interchangeable with the word trust. And obeying God really boils down to, do we trust God or not? Because if you trust someone, it is easy to obey them. If we don't trust someone, obeying them probably feels more like they're trying to control us, or we need to do exactly what they say. So we kind of redefined obedience when it comes to us and God, and saying if we trust God, then it won't be difficult to obey him. So as we talk about trust, what I want to know from you for this first question tonight is, where have you taken small steps of trust, or where have you noticed small steps of trust in your own personal relationships, whether your family, your friends, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, with your kids, with your whatever it is? What are some small steps of trust that you have taken in your relationships to help build a relationship? And how did those small steps affect you, whether positively or negatively? So let's take a few minutes to dig into that together, and let's see what you guys come up with. All right, now for question number 2, I want to encourage you, if you haven't already, to read through the story of Naaman in 2 Kings chapter 5, verses 1 through 19, to read through that. And I want to know if, like you, in this story, Naaman wanted to be fixed or healed miraculously in one swipe of the hand, and God does exactly what he needs to do, and he wanted God to do it a certain way. So I want to know, do you feel like you relate to Naaman in this way? Like Naaman, are you, for this second question, like Naaman, are you wanting God to miraculously fix your situation in one shot, whether it's to fix your marriage or to fix your relationships or to make you pass all your classes in school or to give you a new job or to make your boss immediately likable? Are you wanting God to miraculously fix whatever situation you're in? And I want to know if this story has, or how this story, if it has, changed your perspective on what it means for us to take small steps of trust and to have things happen the way God would have them to, rather than the way we want them to. So let's take a couple of minutes to dig through that together. Remember to share your thoughts and feelings, because when you share your thoughts, you help all of us gain a different perspective. So do you feel like you are wanting God to fix something in your life quickly, miraculously, without you putting in any steps or anything like that? And if this story has changed your perspective, I want to know how it has changed your perspective on that. So let's talk through that together. I'll give you guys a couple minutes. All right, now for this third and final question, What we've been talking about today, this week, is all small steps of trust. It's not always going to be a giant step of obedience, not always going to be a big life decision. Sometimes we can take small steps of trust in God. And so for this third and final question, what we want to do is be able to apply what we're learning into our life. When we read the Bible or when we come to church, it's not just about becoming smarter. We're not trying to become smarter in our faith. We're not trying to know more about God. We are trying to know more of God. We are trying to get to know Him more. We're trying to get more in touch with our journey of faith, and that requires work day in and day out, taking intentional steps and applying what we're learning into our life. So what I want to know from you guys for this last question tonight is, where in your life do you need to trust God more? Where do you see an opportunity for more trust in God? Maybe for you it's in your finances, or it's in your relationships, or maybe it's in your romantic life. Maybe you need to trust God more with your job or with school, or you need to trust God more with your anxiety or your depression, or whatever it happens to be in your life. Where do you see that you could use more trust in God? And then what I want to be able to discuss together as a group is, what small step can you take this week to start trusting God in that area? Remember, the key word here is a small step. It doesn't have to be life-changing. You don't have to change overnight tonight and tomorrow you're a brand new person. Sometimes God does do that. Sometimes miracles occur like that. But many times the miracle happens in the small steps of obedience. So let's take a few minutes to dig through this together. This is the last question for tonight. I love you guys too much. I hope you have a great rest of your week. We are starting a brand new series this Sunday called Spiritual Dysmorphia. And it's going to be a great series to bring somebody to, a friend or a family member, because we're going to dig into what different things look like in our life spiritually. So if you feel like you've been having some questions lately about the spiritual side of your faith, and you're not really sure how to approach that or how to talk about that, it's going to be a great series to dig into that. So we'll see you this Sunday at 9:30 and 11. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your week.